What's going on YouTube and welcome to another GTA 5 online video. So guys, in this video I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about the facility. I'm going to tell you guys the best location you can get for a facility, because this week we actually have a 50% discount on the facilities. So everyone that doesn't have a facility probably wants to buy one this week, or everyone that has a kind of a shit location on their facility probably wants to change their location this week. Before I start the video, guys, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Make sure to like the video, make sure to check out my merch and my Twitter in the description. And of course, the first thing we're going to do is going to buy a facility. So I already have one, so I'm not going to buy one right now. But if you don't have one already, just go to money and services, go to the Maze Bank foreclosure site, enter the site and press on the facility tab. By the way guys, the arcades are also in discount this week. I guess that a lot of people actually don't have an arcade yet because it's a little bit newer than the facilities. I made a video about that yesterday. Make sure to check that video out in the description. So these are all of the facilities you can buy. These are all the locations you have, plus this one. That's the one that I have. And the most expensive one is this one. As you guys can see, it's very close to the city. We don't have a facility in the city, as you guys can see as well. But the most expensive one is this one. Then the ones that are kind of mid-range in price are over here near the lake. And then we have one over here that's a little bit more expensive as well, on the right side of the lake. And the cheaper ones are actually in the north of the map. So the one that I have is actually the cheapest one. I bought it when I didn't have a lot of money in GTA 5. So the options that you can do on your facility when you buy it, just a lot of things that are just yeah, for show. Actually, you cannot do a lot with them actually, but one thing you might want to get is a sleeping quarters. I say this in every video. This actually gives you the ability to spawn in your facility, and it actually might save you a lot of time. So the sleeping quarters is something that you can definitely get. Then the orbital canal and the security room and all of that, yeah, they're cool things, but they're not really necessary for your facility. You can get them if you have a lot of money. Anyway, about the location. So as I said, the most expensive location was actually the one that was nearest to the city, and it has a reason, of course. The reason why it's more expensive is because when you do the heist, so the facility, the main thing why you're buying the facilities, of course, to do the Doomsday Heists. And when you're doing the heist, with these setups and with the pre-setups, you actually most of the time have to steal a vehicle and bring it back to your facility, and the place where you steal your vehicles are most of the time close to the city, and also close to this area on the map. So the reason why it's more expensive is because when you do these prep missions or when you do these setups, it's actually a lot faster when you have a facility over here than if you would have a facility over here. Because when I do the prep missions or when I do these setups, most of the time I have to steal a vehicle, for example over here in the harbor, and then I have to drive it all the way back to my facility, and it actually takes a lot of time. And the main thing you want, of course, is to play the heist, and the faster you can do the setups, the faster you can actually play the heist and get your money. That's the reason why you should get a facility that's close to the city, or at least close to this area kind of. So that's also the reason why this one is of course more expensive. So the best location is of course this one. It's the most expensive one. Sometimes the most expensive one isn't actually the best location, but in this case it actually is. And then if you don't want to spend all of this money on this location, so on this facility, you can also get one of these three. So under the lake, I know they're quite pricey as well, but these are actually the best locations you can get for a facility, because the main thing you're doing with your facility is actually just doing the Doomsday Heist. You can also store some vehicles in your facility, but the main thing you want to do is actually play the Doomsday Heists. And as I said, with the prep missions and with the setup missions, most of the time you have to drive to the city, get something and get it back to your facility. And if your facility is close to the city, it will be a lot faster, and it actually doesn't take that long to actually complete the prep and the setup missions. So that's the reason why I recommend try to get your facility closer to the city, so you can actually do the preps and do the setups faster. So after you bought a facility, you can enter it. As you guys can see, a very cool intro. If you enter it for the first time, you probably have an intro from Lester, or no, not Lester, maybe, I don't know, Agent 14, I don't know for sure, but you get an intro and it tells you all about the facility. But I'm just gonna tell you guys real quick. So over here, as you guys can see, I only have one vehicle over here. You can also store other vehicles, like just a regular vehicle like a motorcycle, like the Bati or your Shataro, or like a Zentorno or T20, I don't know, just any vehicle you can store over here as well. But some vehicles like the Kanjali, like I have over here, can only be stored in your facility. So So this may be a reason why you want to get a facility as well, because they can only be stored over here, and I think they can only be modified in your facility as well. So that might be a reason why you want to get a facility as well. But there are actually not a lot of vehicles that you can store in there, in my opinion. I think, sorry. For example, the Deluxe was also part of the Doomsday Heist, but you can just store it in your regular garage. So a couple of vehicles on Warstock can actually only be stored over here. So that's also maybe a reason why you want to buy a facility. But of course, as I said, the main reason why you want to buy a facility is for the Doomsday Heists. And I will show you guys right away how you can actually launch these heists after you have the facility. So over here you have kind of a lobby and all of that. Not much you can do over here. Maybe you can get some snacks from your receptionist. So snacks like with the CEO office, you can also fill up on snacks, and over here you can do that as well. And you also have a Pegasus guy that can bring you your Pegasus vehicles. But if, for example, I have a Buzzard and it actually costs money to get it. So you can also request vehicles that you have on Pegasus. If you have a living quarters, it's over here. So over here I have my living quarters. It actually gives me the ability to spawn in my facility. So if you're doing the heists, this might actually be handy. You can change your spawn location just by going to your interaction menu and just set it to Paleto Bay facility in my case, or just the facility that you have. Now, the room where we actually launch the heist, you guys can already see it on the map. It's marked with an H, kind of a different color from the other heists. But over here we have a planning room. I already completed all the heists, so right now I don't have one that's running. But for each heist, let me, for example, wait, let me check if I can actually show you guys. But for each heist, you have prep missions and you also have setup missions. So the setup missions are in a different lobby and the prep missions are actually in free mode. And it's, yeah, as you guys can see, these are the three heists that you can actually do. So the data breaches, the Bogdan problem, and the Doomsday scenario. So these are the three. Of course, the setup cost is a little bit lower for the first one because the lower is also a little bit shorter. But for the last one, I think you have like 7 prep missions, 5 setup missions, and then you can actually do the last heist, and the last heist is actually not that easy. But anyway, here is where you can actually launch the heist. It's not that hard. It's not a lot of planning. You just have to do them all these setups before you can do the heist, and that's pretty much it. When you actually start an heist, you can also get an invitation from Lester, I think it is, and that's an easier way to get your facility. But as I said, the most important thing is that you have your facility close to the city so you can actually complete these setups faster. Going to your facility is not a problem because, as I said, when you launch the heist for the first time, after you complete a setup, Lester will automatically invite you to do the next setup, so you actually don't have to drive back to your facility each time to launch the setup. But most of the time after prep, you're already in your facility because you have to get something and get it back to your facility. That's pretty much it for the facility, guys. Not a lot of things you can actually do in here. As I said, you can store some vehicles in here. You can do the Doomsday heists, so that's the most important thing, of course. It's a very good way to earn cash. They take a little bit long, but they're actually pretty fun to do. You have a lot of cool vehicles that you use in these heists, actually. And as I said, you can store a couple of things over here. I have the Kanjali only. I don't have anything else from Warstock that you can actually store in your facility. I think the jetpack is also something that you have to store in your facility, so that might be something that I get as well, maybe if it's in discount. But anyway, if you have, for example, the Kanjali, you just enter it, press right arrow on your D-pad, and then you just go to workshop, for anyone who wants to know how you customize something in your facility. And I think the workshop is free, so you get it immediately when you actually have the facility, so it's not an upgrade you have to buy. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's something that I missed, you can leave it in the comments. Sometimes I forget to say some things. But as I said, the best location close to the city. It's for the setup missions, it's for the prep setup missions, or else it doesn't really matter. It's not that you get more money if you have a better facility, but it's just to save some time to do the setups and the prep setups faster, and so you guys can actually get the money faster. So guys, that was pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe, as I already said. Make sure to check out my merch in the description. Also make sure to check my Twitter out. Follow me on Twitter if you use it. And that was it, guys. Thanks for watching and peace out.